No, I did not buy a €750,000 3 litre CSL because I wasn't offered one. But if I was, would I have bought one? Let's discuss. If I was offered a car and I had €750,000 spare, which I don't, but I think me and Bilal could get it together. Maybe we could sell some cars to make something happen for something really special. It would make sense from a completely investment perspective. There's only 50 of them. It's 50 years of M, and I can only see these cars appreciating. The shame of it is that I think most of these cars, if not all of them, will get bought and put into collections and probably won't see a road or even the light of day. I know a couple of people that have been offered these cars and they are going ahead with the purchases, so I may get to see one in real life at some point when they start getting delivered. But if I do, I will make sure that I do a video on it. Now, buying one as an investment is one thing because that's somewhere to put some money. It's going to appreciate over time. And if you look at classic car prices and rare BMW prices, they have been astronomical recently. And I don't expect anything less for the 3-litre CSL, which has just been released. The question then comes to, would I want one for that much money and for what they've delivered? Now, the issue I have with this car is not that they've actually made it. I'm actually quite glad they've done something very special for 50 years of M. We thought we were just getting the XM, and then we heard rumors about a CSL that was coming out that would maybe be like the Homage, which we love. But that's the problem. That CSL Homage that was released in 2015-16 was such a beautiful car. And if you follow the channel, we went to Welt when they were displaying it, and it didn't disappoint in real life. That car was absolutely amazing. It was just perfect from every angle. I was in that museum looking at that car for probably over half an hour, and I don't do that. I don't get that enamored with cars that I look at them for that long. And what they've delivered us is a M4 CSL with a bespoke carbon body kit. I'm not saying that's not special. It's just not as special as that CSL Homage was. That was based on an M6 or 6 Series platform, so it was lower and wider to start with, so the proportions looked the way they did because of the base car. With the 3-litre CSL, the base car is an M4 CSL, and it already sits quite high and it's narrow. Even our own M4, when we first got it, before we lowered it and put some wheels on it that had the correct offset to bring it out, the car did look slightly awkward, and they look much better when you lower them and put an aggressive set offset wheels on the car. This one, it looks great from some angles, but it doesn't look that great from other angles. And I think if you're spending that much money, the car just needs to be like, I don't care, I need to find the money to buy it. It needs to be at that level when you're talking about this kind of money. If it's not just purely from an investment and you're buying it because you want that car. The specs of the car are as follows: 560 horsepower, rear wheel drive, and interestingly, a manual gearbox. I actually like the 50-year anniversary heritage gear knob. I actually think that looks quite cool. But the rest of the interior very much looks like the M4 CSL interior. The seats look the same. The carbon interior is the same, apart from I think it's matte rather than gloss, so they haven't really upped the game in the interior. The M4 CSL interior is very nice, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting a little bit more special interior for this model. Now, when we saw the Homage and then we saw the rumors of this car coming out and we saw it in camo, we were told it was going to have a full carbon body, which it does, but it looks more like a carbon body kit that's been put onto an M4, and it does look slightly awkward in places. I'm not sure that the proportions of the car work from every angle. It looks great for some angles and doesn't look as great from others. And I think for a flagship car, it just needed to look amazing from every angle. But we can't have everything. I'm sure the car is going to be a right to drive for the people who do actually drive them. And it's going to be interesting to see if anyone actually does drive them a lot or even take them on track and see what they're capable of. Coming back to the driving dynamics of the car, I believe it's going to just be M4 CSL because BMW M have put out a walk around video with the CEO, and they haven't really talked about how the car is different to the normal M4 CSL. They've talked about the heritage and the inspiration and 50 years of M coming together in this car. But that looks more like it's about the design carrying over from the E9 CSL rather than how the car is being driven. I may be wrong, maybe there's some details that they haven't released yet, but it doesn't look like there's much going on underneath the car to separate it from the M4 CSL. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that is the right thing to do on a halo car like this? Let us know in the comments. The cynic in me thinks that maybe they haven't concentrated on the driving dynamics that much, because the M4 CSL does drive really well, and because they know they're not going to get driven, they're going to get bought and put into collections, and it's just there to evoke some memory of the E9 CSL, which was a very successful race car. With limited production car like this, it would have cost BMW a lot of money to pass it through all the necessary regulations, and that's why when they've only made 50 of them to celebrate 50 years, the price is so high. The cost of getting all the regulations passed on this car would have been astronomical. It's not as if they're an aftermarket tuner where they buy the car, do more or less whatever they want on it, and as long as it can pass the country's regulations, it's absolutely fine. The car's not even going to go to the USA, so it obviously doesn't meet some regulations in the USA, and they don't want to spend the extra money to get it to pass. So this car is going to be only sold outside the US. Now, what would we have loved, or what would an M Power fan would have loved in this car, would have been maybe a really high revving NA engine, but then that would have not being able to pass the emissions. And other brands like Ferrari and Porsche have made super special models that are not road going, and this could have been a halo model that's only used on a track. The other brands have done it, BMW could have done it. It'd be interesting to know why they didn't go that route, especially if these cars are not going to get driven anyway. Just to be clear, I know in this video it seems like I'm not impressed with the 3-litre CSL. It's just because I was so in love with the concept car. It was amazing and perfect in my eyes, that the 3-litre CSL doesn't live up to the expectations and the hype. We've seen that time and time with concept cars. You see a concept car like Toyota did with the FT1, everyone thought that was going to be the Supra, and the Supra was something else. The Supra actually was a very good car, and it's a good looking car, it just wasn't the FT1. So the reason why I'm not overly impressed is because from my perspective, I'm a big BMW fan, I'm a big BMW M fan, and it's just not what M means to me. Maybe I should build something myself and kind of demonstrate what M means to me. It'd be really interesting to know your guys' views. What does BMW M mean to you guys? When you think of BMW M, do you think of the E9 CSL? Do you think of the E30 M3? Do you think of the E46 M3 CSL, or even the E92 M3 GTS? Please let us know in the comments. I want to know what your guys' ideal M car would be. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on. If you want to join the conversation, please drop us a comment below and we will do our best to respond to you. And if you're running out of things to watch, why don't you watch one of these two?